good day, Dallas, Texas, and good day, interweb. This is Ryan Trimble coming to you from the Allen Media Worldwide Headquarters Studios, high atop the Two Turtle Creek Tower, here in the heart of Big D, Dallas, Texas. And sitting next to my outstanding co-host, Sean Williams, and we are looking out over Southern Methodist University out there in the distance, Sean.
I know, man. That is ironic because today, on today's episode of Deconstructing Dallas, we will be deconstructing community relations at Southern Methodist University. So I think that is a good thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Sean. I don't know if you know this, but I am a fan of Southern Methodist University.
No. That is, I mean, unless you really mean in the fanatic sort of way, like short for fanatic, because I don't know if fan really does any justice. I mean, I have attended multiple SMU basketball games with you, and between you getting up and having to pace around out in the concourse, I mean, I don't know if fan does it justice.
I'm a passionate guy, Sean. I'm passionate about my team and passionate about our podcast, and that's why I'm excited about today's episode.
Well, it is exciting. Again, SMU happens to be a client of ours, so
that's right.
It's worth mentioning that. SMU's been around over 100 years now, founded in 1911 over on the hilltop, spanning Dallas, University Park, and Highland Park.
That's right. 3 jurisdictions.
Seems like that could get to be a little iffy, but I mean, that's what Mustangs do, right? Y'all solve problems, you work with people.
That's right. And when we don't, we look towards public affairs professionals, Sean. So we are excited about today's episode. We will have Suzanne Massey, SMU's Director of Community Relations, coming in studio with us, and we're excited to hear about all the things that she's doing. She is one of these folks around town that just, I would say, when I think of Suzanne Massey, I think of the word hustle, because she's running around, she's getting stuff done, and she is really one of the hardest working ladies in town.
Well, I am excited to talk to Suzanne. I'm excited to work with Suzanne each and every time we get to do so. But one of the reasons why I wanted to do this show is because I thought it would be a great opportunity for me to talk about you being an SMU cheerleader.
That's right.
And
That's
so
right.
I wanted to ask you, Ryan Trimble, co-host, about your time as a cheerleader at SMU.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you asked. I was the head cheerleader eventually. I cheered every year I was there, and saw a lot of did not see a lot of winning games.
Not football, right?
Not a lot of winning football games, but that didn't make me cheer any less hard for the Ponies. It's a great school. Growing up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, getting the chance to go to an outstanding university like SMU. I mean, it was the opportunity of a lifetime, and I'm, as Sean mentioned, I'm passionate about the place. It changed my life, and I know it's changing the lives of a lot of folks. But we wanted to shine a spotlight on what SMU is doing in the community, because the students, the faculty, the staff there at SMU, they are shaping this community. I know their tagline, their promotional tagline has been "World Changers Shaped Here." Well, I would say that Dallas Changers are shaped at SMU, Sean.
I also wanted to share with you my initial memories of SMU. My earliest memory of SMU occurred in the early 80s when you were probably at best a wee pup. And being from Paris, Texas, we went to a game at Moody Coliseum to see SMU and University of Texas play in the old Southwest Conference days, because we were watching the great Carlton Cooper, who was a member of the Texas Longhorns basketball team, a standout player from Paris. But the tie-in is that he came back to SMU later on as an assistant athletic director. And so that is my earliest SMU
That
memory.
is a cool memory. That is a cool memory. That, when we were at the press conference for our new head football coach, SMU's new head football coach, Sonny Dykes, he told a similar story about seeing SMU play at Texas Tech, and, his family there are big Texas Tech legends. And so hearing him tell the story about how his team was SMU and he cheered for SMU and saw one of the great comebacks, one of the great games in SMU history, it was really neat just to hear that personal connection that he had. So,
and I didn't know that. Did you know he had that connection?
No, it was really a great story, and genuine guy, and really excited to see the Sonny Dykes era take off. For
football games, I attended a game with you. You go all out. You get on the boulevard and do the whole 9 yards. So can you tell our listeners about like your game day routine on football weekends?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we started. We had the opportunity to purchase a boulevard spot 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago now, and we have just added on, and we have table.
And it's like the tailgating central, right? The boulevard is like that's where it literally goes down. I mean, I made a wrong turn when I went to look for you and got in the student section, and I was like, man, this is not probably where I'm supposed to be.
No, you were probably a little out of place, Sean. The gray in your beard probably gave you away, as it does mine. So, no, it's fun. And for those of you who've never been, SMU shuts down the main drag of campus. It's something that President Gerald Turner brought when he was the chancellor of Ole Miss. And as you probably know, if you follow college football at all, Ole Miss is famous for the Grove, which is their tailgating scene, which is fancy chandeliers and crystal, and it's pretty over the top. Well, not to be outdone, SMU, I would say this is like about as close to the Grove as you can get.
Just looking at how some of the students are dressed, granted, the game I went, I think it might have been homecoming, but it was, folks were dressed to the T.
That's right.
It was a party scene. It was fun. It was just fun to be on a college campus in a game day atmosphere. And regardless, we know that the team is going to play as hard as they can, but people would have as much fun as they could.
Usually there's a lot of T-shirts out there that say we can't be beat. The sentiment is that win or lose, we can't be beat on the tailgate scene. So if you haven't been, come on out. We'd love to have you. We have table runners and mums, if that gives you an idea of just how intense we are about our boulevarding scene.
It is serious business on the boulevard, and I'm already calling an early dibs to be invited next year, next football season, to get in on some of that. It is an
open invite for you, sir.
Cool. So let us get ready to chat with our good friend, Suzanne Massey, and deconstruct community relations at SMU. So Ryan Trimble, Sean Williams, we are going to be back right after this. This is Deconstructing Dallas. We are back to Deconstructing Dallas, and we are now on the campus of Southern Methodist University, SMU. And whenever I walk on campus with Ryan Trimble, which is often, it's like it's a pep in your step. It's like, I don't know if the sun is brighter at SMU but when you get back to your alma mater, it's like a smile comes across your face and like the day is always good.
It takes me back to the glory days, Sean. I was wearing full polyester male cheerleading uniforms and, graduating, and
we need pictures. So I fully expect that there will be some tweets
for blackmail.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is one of my favorite places, probably in the entire world. I know that sounds crazy,
but it's true.
You can believe it is true. And so, when we had the opportunity to start doing some work with SMU and helping them with their community outreach and their public affairs efforts, I was really fired up, Sean. And that's why I'm very excited to be sitting down with our guest today, Suzanne Massey, the Director of Community Relations for SMU. Welcome, Suzanne.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. I'm glad to be here today.
It is great being here to talk to you today.
So, Suzanne, community relations, you are community relating. Tell us about your job and what you do here on the Hilltop.
So I've been at the university close to about 8 years now, and we didn't have the position when I first started. So we actually put the job together after I'd been here a few days, and we had finished up the centennial celebration. So if you didn't know, the university is over 100 years old now. But one thing that we saw that was really important that we wanted to implement was a community relations effort. The university does so many things throughout the community, but we weren't fully telling that story about the kinds of things that the university is doing in each of the schools and everywhere. So we started developing this plan where we can really showcase how the university impacts the city of Dallas, how the city has impact to the university. We've got talent that we provide to the city through our young graduates. We have research that benefits the community. We have an economic impact of about $7 billion annually. So all of those things together, we wanted to tell this story a little bit better and have impact in the community.
And when did you start your position here? Right.
I think I've been here about, in this particular role, about 4 years. Mm-hmm. And it's been an evolution, a lot of focus, as we'll probably talk about, on some civil rights issues, a lot of focus on literacy issues, and then coordinating with the different schools and entities across campus to help broaden their impact and efforts as well.
You know, like Ryan mentioned, as with SMU being a client of ours and me as an Aggie having an opportunity to now join the Pony Express and learn more about what's going on here, I have been very pleasantly surprised and impressed by the work that is going on, especially as it relates to community relations. And you mentioned civil rights, which would not be an original, immediate thought that people, I think, would have for SMU, but I've learned a lot about the history SMU has in the city as it relates to civil rights. And so can you talk about, like, for instance, some of the things that SMU has done with specifically like the Mlk Parade, and then maybe even some of the history that MLK has that's tied into SMU, Martin Luther King has that's tied into SMU?
Sure. And I wanted to say, too, like, the university is really interested in being a convener of important conversations. As a university, I think that's the kind of role that we have, is to have difficult conversations. It's so vital in our world right now. So this emphasis on telling this story about Dr. King and his role here at SMU is real important to me. 3 or 4 years ago, the university got involved with the City of Dallas Mlk Parade. And it was an opportunity for us to tell this story of Dr. King's relationship with SMU. It was our students that showed leadership in 1966 and invited Dr. King to speak on the campus. So he spoke to a standing room only audience in McFarland Auditorium on March 13th, 1966. And I want to tell the community this story because no one knows about us in that way, and no one knows that our own students took the leadership to invite him to speak here, where no one else in Dallas was willing to host Dr. King. He was highly controversial at the time, and I'm just so excited about that history. And we have that history on our website where you can go and read the transcript of the speech. You can listen to the audio of his speech. It's very important that people know that SMU had a role in his involvement in the history in Dallas.
Suzanne, one of my mentors during my time on campus here as a student was the late, great Dennis Simon. Professor Simon was very passionate about civil rights issues as well, and actually began a civil rights pilgrimage that thank goodness it's still going on to this day. Even as he has recently passed, it is going forward. Can you talk about the plans for the pilgrimage this year and going forward?
So every year at spring break, we have a group of students that go on